What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody's big game, James. You know what it is, and it's burgers and blitzes. We back at it at a perfect time. Big trade came into Dallas today. It was a big signing. A lot of people wanted this re-signing. It
For sure.
happened, and on top of that, a big trade comes right back in there, unexpected. But I'm excited.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. That
It
came out of
came,
absolute nowhere.
it
I
came out
haven't
of
heard a peep about a DB since they didn't get the Ramsey deal done, which they tried for, but Ramsey said no. I didn't know that was going to happen either. They He said no, and LA was like, "Cool, where do you want to go?" So they took a worse offer with Miami. They offered him the two.
I mean, hey, like I
He
said, let
says
me.
no. He says no. What the hell? I mean,
I
I didn't
feel you.
expect you. Usually trades
I
just
mean,
happen.
I'm gonna keep it real. I wasn't tripping on no Jalen Ramsey. Wasn't. A lot of highlights I seen, I didn't look at him deep enough. I ain't gonna lie, but a lot of
His
stuff I
shoulders are
seen,
busted.
he wasn't. He was getting turned up a little bit. But let me give a shout out to everybody who's jumping in the building right quick. Ryan, Rush, I don't know the last name, but Riley, what's going on? C. Burleson, the Ninja, Jay Lombardi, Marcus, Jazzy Jeff, uh, what's up, Los? Big Bud Cowboys for life was good with you. It's good to hear everybody. Keep on coming up in the building. Burgers and Blitzes, we back at it, like I said. So here's my thing. I made a tweet yesterday, and I was saying that since Mike McCarthy has gotten here, I noticed it was a shift in just how they did things as far
Hmm.
as when we had Jason Garrett, when somebody got injured, you never saw Zach Martin move from his right guard to play a tackle position to help out the team. We didn't see that under Garrett. I didn't see that other under coaches except maybe like a Parcells. You get what I'm saying? We didn't see
Yeah.
this. We didn't see that structure of that. And then when I looked at the free agents that they were bringing in, I seen Everson Griffith. A lot of us wanted him. A Dante Poe. A lot of us wanted a big man, and he was a name. He wasn't a bum. You get what I'm
No,
saying?
they tried and they just missed. The pro personnel part of it on that year, they just missed. They tried and they missed. That it is what it is.
But that's what I'm saying. They weren't, in my opinion, really trying like that with Garrett and them as hard as they were trying. I feel like Mike McCarthy was coming at them like a little harder. Like, I need some guys up in here, and we
Yeah,
ain't just going to get these little bargain guys. We're going to get some decent kind of guys up in here. And I saw it in the free agency. So what I was saying was I noticed that there was just a smaller shift from, hey, we ain't going to just be getting the bargain guys. Now Mike is all in. He got his guys in here. Dan Quinn and him are cool. Let's try to make this work. And then all of a sudden, bam, now you see Gilmore. And that just sets to me the strong imprint that Dan Quinn has on the organization, him coming back, because they kind of like giving him all kind of stuff. What's your thoughts on that?
the Dan Quinn thing, and the coach thing in general. The Cowboys, for better and worse, have always empowered their coaches. Not with the offensive scheme; they know what they want to see on the field. But as far as personnel goes, as far as the draft goes, they have empowered their coaches for what they want to do. And yeah, the defense, you can do what you want as too. That's why we had the Rob Ryan, 15 man on the field defense at times, and then Marinelli, putting 10 men on the field and stuff like that. But with Dan Quinn coming back, they gave him more money because coaches don't count against a salary cap. Dan Quinn just didn't decide not to take a head coach job. There's only 32 of them. He got decided. And with that move, they were hoping it would make it easier to sign these guys they want to sign back. They want to bring back LVE. They already brought back Wilson. They would like to get Curse on a longer deal, try to get that wrapped up. And who knows with Hooker. So there's some guy, and you got Hankins out there. There's that
You got to
they were
sign
hoping
Hankins.
they were hoping with that, give Dan Quinn such a little scratch on the side. The guys love him. Hey, talk him into one more run it back year, whatever the case may be, whatever, however you want to spin it. But that was the thought process there, and I can't say I disagree with it. It's not like Dan Quinn's some mastered, but if the guys like him, and your defensive coordinator, we talked about this all the time. Defensive coordinator is a product of your talent. Well, if your defensive coordinator will help your good talent stick around, throw him a little extra scratch because you're a billionaire running the most profitable sports business in the entire freaking universe. What's another $4 million for your defensive coordinator? Here we go. And then, hopefully, like you see, they got Dono back with 13.5 guaranteed. That the numbers came back on that about an hour ago. That's a fantastic deal for a free safety. That is fantastic. I love it.
Well, we'll always say that they definitely make deals as far as how they get them. The guys that they get in deals. You be like, man, they signed them to that after all this and that. But that goes to show that Donovan Wilson kind of loved the Dallas Cowboys too. If he's signing like that, you feel me? He didn't want to leave.
Sure.
And that's what we talked about the Dan Quinn. How you just said the Dan Quinn effect. He wanted to stay with Quinn. That's a big saying, okay, I could leave to go somewhere else, maybe make some more, but I can make some good money here, and I like it, and I like the coach, and the coach is going to let me do my thing. Why am I going to leave that? And we got a good D.
Well, grass may be greener, but you still got to mow it, buddy. The grass may be greener, you still got to mow it.
And I think that's what jumped into play. And then let's talk about Stephon Gilmore. I mean, a lot of people wanted him a few years ago. He sailed by, went over to the Colts.
We were pissed because what Carolina got him. Carolina got him for what it was a 5, I believe that's what they got him for.
Yeah.
And then he ended up in Indianapolis, and then we got that picture on the Twitter. He's standing there sad as hell next to Parsons. Like, damn, Matt Ryan's really washed, and he's a smart player. He's a clean player. Outside of that year, that down here he had in 2020 when the Pats were an absolute mess and he was injured. You know, he had, I think he had 10 or 11 penalties that year. The last 2 years, he's had 6 combined penalties. And usually when these defensive backs start slipping, you start losing, you start grabbing, especially when you play press man, you're up on guys all the time. You're playing clean, you're smart, and it's technically a free pick because they traded the comp pick. I've said it time and time and time again, dude, I will give you a day 3 comp pick for just about any player out, any starting player in the league, literally any player. Hell, I'll give you a 6 right now for Jalen Smith. I'm dead ass serious. Like, not the money or anything like that, but just the player itself. If you prove that you can somewhat play in the league, here's a day 3 pick because they ain't going to make the roster no way.
So, shout out to everybody that's jumping in the building. What's up? What's going on, Matt? What's up with my dog, Mel Hayes? I Rock was good with you. Good, Peter Rizzo. Good to see everybody. Come on in, share this out there, share it on Facebook because we're going live on Facebook and YouTube simultaneously. So go out
First
there.
First time I've been on Facebook in a decade.
Yeah. So you're on there. You're on Facebook live right now. So go out there and share that. Burgers and Blitzes. If you haven't seen it on Facebook, get used to it because this is what we do out here. So, like I said, I'm excited. I'm a defensive guy, Mike, always been. That's why I'm always going to stay with defense. And to me, it makes me feel good for the fact that it solidifies some things maybe in that back end that you were kind of wondering what was going on because you didn't know. A lot of people have been talking in the chat with Kelvin Joseph. It was an unknown with Kelvin Joseph, Nashawn Wright. The Diggs is up for his contract.
He got picked on, boy.
You know what I'm saying? But, Izzy Mukamu stepped up his game, and he looked really good toward the end of the season, and he's blossoming. And then you had Deron Bland right there as well. So that makes it even better when you got a Deron Bland who's in a second year, right? And he gets to learn.
Well, it's going into a second year.
Second year, but you got a guy who can really learn off a guy like Stephon Gilmore. How great is that? You adding a guy like that into the locker room with rings, with veteran leadership, smart.
Dude, they respect every defensive back in the league respects Stephon Gilmore. He's looked at like a Pat Pete. He's looked at like he's a respected dude all across the league.
And I think that's what I really like about it the best is the locker room presence. He's really going to get to that back end and to that young team. And then you can still draft a corner. Now you don't have to sit there and feel like, oh, we got to get it. The BPA is getting bigger and bigger now, especially if you do something else in free agency. Now, I want to ask you this, since we're talking about it. Nobody expected this one, right? But now we're looking at it going further. We don't think Dallas is going to do anything. I still say that the OBJ, maybe the Bobby Wagner, who knows? Is that into play? What's going on? Is it chill? How you feeling?
They're trying to get LVE done. I'm surprised it's not already. but the third man in entered. I was talking about it. They've been at talks, but a third team, I think it was Cincinnati, entered in the picture earlier today. Um, they want to get that done, and with the receivers, what we need, and what concerns me is they don't. None of these guys in this draft they particularly love, if that because they're all small. You got Mims, but the production's not there, and they don't like small. And I have my own questions about it as well. What limit is it where you can't play on the outside of the NFL? These guys aren't 5'10". They're not 5'11". They're 5'8", 5'7". That means something. That's not nothing. So I'm still concerned about what they're going to do at the number two wide receiver position, especially. I mean, we're assuming Gallup's going to come back, but he just had his knee scoped again, and I don't know. It's just leaves a bad taste in my mouth how that season ended. Him out there trying to, and when a running back going down shouldn't ruin your team, and Tony Pollard going down versus San Francisco absolutely sent this team into a tailspin. That's all we had. All we had left was Lamb.
Right.
Nobody else could get open. Nobody else could catch. Nobody. And as it stands right now, that's what we still have. Hell, we don't even have Pollard at the moment because he's rehabbing.
Well, let me ask you this. So, do you think is there a receiver going to come in here?
I think so. I don't know, so I think so. Because what happened is they were.
Is it going to be one of?
It was going to be. We all know who it is. All right, we all know who it is. So I'm not trying to get clicks or anything. We all know, unless you've been living under a damn rock, it's DeAndre Hopkins. Cooks is out of the picture. Cooks is a midsummer cut. His value is absolutely not there. But what happened is when Ramsey got moved for a 3, it put a break on the free agent train. Just like when Claypool got moved for a 2nd, and it ruined the trade deadline. Opposite ends of the spectrum, but nobody expected Ramsey to go for a damn third round pick. And Arizona was wanting a top half of the 2 for Hopkins. That's what they were wanting. Now, so that, we're still, hell, something could happen in the next hour. I know they still want a wide receiver. So what I'm interested in, what seems to be more their lane, but Catboy and Old Boy still hate each other, is what's going on with the Jets. They bringing in the retirement squad in there for old Aaron Rodgers. The whole Luby's crew, Mercedes Lewis and Randall Cobb and them. One of them boys is going to be gone. It's either going to be Moore, it's going to be Mims, or
you've been screaming Denzel Mims, haven't you?
They loved him in the draft. He's 6'3", he's 207 pounds. He can scream down the field. He just had a defensive head coach and a trash quarterback until I started playing there. But it was far too gone by then. Once you get Robert Saleh, for people who don't know, he's a defensive head coach. And once you get in a defensive coach's, you get on a defensive coach's bad side, it's done.
Right.
You're done. You might as well just put in your transfer papers because you're never going to see the field again unless they absolutely need you. So that they were all over him in the draft. They love his little brother. So I don't know.
Was he going to be available in a trade because he's still under contract, correct?
Yes. Ideally you would trade for him because what's going to happen is that once he gets cut, then you're in a bidding war. We never win those.
Right. He could go for like a what? They got another 5th, don't they? Or 4th? I'll go for a 4th with that.
I mean, all day.
Do a 4th with that.
Once we're in day 3, I don't care. Well, once we're in day 3, I don't care.
Think about all the 4th round picks that have failed Dallas. That's a 4th round pick.
We found Dak Prescott in the 4th round. Okay. And they drafted Charles Chapper in front of him, and the dude never played a down in the NFL. So I have fourth round all day long, no questions asked. I'd send it in a heartbeat. I'd send it. Hell, I'd damn near send that for Beckham, even though you don't need to trade nothing for him. That's just how I feel about day 3 picks, and when you can get a proven NFL player.
Right, and he's still young too.
Yeah, he's super young.
Yeah. And he's got that size that they win. He's a good
6'3", 207, dude.
And
Long
a
arms.
lot of people liked him coming out of school. A lot of people from the Cowboys, like you said, the Cowboys land liked
And
him.
he didn't run the Baylor flashcard at Art Briles offense. He ran actual routes.
Right.
They were kind of, but he ran actual routes.
Right. Well, I tell you. Well, let's talk. I ain't gonna get deep in the draft, but let's just talk about that first pick. Let's say the Cowboys get a receiver, right?
Yeah.
What do you think they do? Okay, let's say right now, if they don't get a receiver, what do you think they're doing at 26, in your opinion?
If they're sitting there staring at one of those short receivers versus a Via, I think they take the offensive lineman personally, as it stands right now, especially with McGovern going. But that's a whole nother. Why are we still? Wait, they signed LVE. Jay, don't play with me. 2 years. Yep, there it is. I haven't been looking at my phone.
Okay. Yep. See, that's why we got the
Let's
live.
go.
We got the
Let's
live
go.
update. Got the live updates up in here. Got the live updates in here. Live updates.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh,
That's awesome. That's a dude. I know that people are down on him, but the kid played his ass off last year.
He did, but they need to sign Hankins though.
Yo, for sure. No LB, no off the ball linebacker has ever mattered without a stout defensive tackle right in front of him. Ray Lewis had Tony Siragusa.
Right.
It's just the way it is.
I ain't hating on LVE. A lot of people hate on him. I don't hate on LVE. I thought he, like you said, he played better. He's still young, and he blends with the team, and he's a homegrown player. He knows the system, and Dan Quinn likes him. And I think one thing I can say this about LVE: keep getting talent around LVE, and then I think you see a better LVE. That's what I say.
And LVE made Jalen look like a football player in 2018.
Listen, this is why I say this. Because now I feel like LVE is more, how they put him in the forefront. I think now he's more, not saying he ain't talented, but he's more of a guy that don't put him in the forefront. Let him be in the back. And then next thing you seen him in games when you ain't talked about LVE, 12 tackles. 13 tackles. You get what I'm saying? And you haven't been saying anything about LVE. And I think it's better because now you had a Micah Parsons around him. Now you had a Damone Clark around him, right? We don't know whatever.
It's about keeping them clean. It's about
that's what I'm saying. But you got other young guys around him too.
For sure.
That's talented to help push him. Make him better.
It was a Sean Lee problem. Sean Lee was a beast, but he spent half his time with linemen climbing immediately to the second level because he had nobody in front of him. You have to have somebody in front of you, and then.
So you don't think it would be? Let's say that defensive tackle from Michigan, Meza or Maza.
They're not taking a first round defensive tackle.
Okay,
they're not going to take a second round. I mean, let me say they're not going to take a top 50 defensive tackle ever until there's too much evidence to point otherwise.
I didn't think so either. Because
I would love it, but
it just take in my opinion, it's a gamble because they take a long time to develop. And you can get those guys solid in the third round. You can get a solid guy, a big guy. You can get a guy like that. But it's just, I think it's the motivation. And I mean, what you're trying to do, I think, Bohannon's there. I don't know. Some people just got to step up, Yeah, I know. I know.
That's why
I said that's why you have to sign Hankins because
if we don't, while we're on the defensive tackle, this just popped in my mind. Mm-hmm. My old boy that went to Cincinnati and washed out, Andrew Billings.
Yeah,
there's an option.
That's a big boy right there too.
That's a big boy. That's 335.
Yeah, wasn't he with the Texans?
Texans, I think he ended up at the damn Raiders.
Did he?
At one point.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm about to look.
It's the same thing.
About to look him up right quick.
Yeah, Neville's been a complete freaking letdown. That's once again, that's a third round player though. That's what you get with third round defensive.
Yeah, he was with the Raiders.
Yeah.
6'1",
I think he finished the year with the Raiders. Yeah.
6'1", 311.
He's bigger than that now. That's a big boy.
Yeah, and he's not that old at all.
Mm-mm.
2016, not at
He
all.
fell in the draft. He was supposed to go. He was supposed to go before Jalen Smith, and he had a knee thing
I
that
remember.
dropped him all the way to the fourth round, and he didn't have a knee thing at all. It's something. It was a little rumor Rappaport ran with and dropped that man's draft stock 3 days.
Hmm.
It was some bullshit.
Hey, let me give out the shout out for my dog Pee Wee for the 1999 holla. Let's get that up there. 1999
Oh
holla.
shit!
Appreciate you, Pee Wee. People were saying we should have cut LVE and signed Wagner. To me, LVE played his butt off last year on the low. Cowboys fans who have been here for years thinking we get D-Hop know that might not happen. I see them re-signing Ty. What's your thoughts on that, Mike?
Yeah, Ty was a known quantity in my brain. That was a known factor going into next year. That's one that would be a shocking loss if it happened. And that also ties back to the wide receiver situation. We have a bad taste in our mouth because the way Gallup ended the year on one knee. Then he went and got his knee scoped, and we saw that they could triple cover CeeDee Lamb. It was flashbacks of, almost a damn before Amari Cooper got here, and they were triple covering Allen Hurns and Cole Beasley. So, you got Tolbert, you got Houston. Weren't those guys supposed to be good?
Yeah,
Wasn't Tolbert supposed to be? They could fly.
I think Tolbert is going to be good. I think he is going to be a lot better the second year. I do really in my heart think he is. I think the system that he was probably in, I think it might make it more comfortable for him. I think it'll be better for him, and I think you'll see him show up more. But we're talking about the measurables. Do you think that you think offensive lineman? Do you think any running back in the first round?
God, I hope not.
But you think it could happen?
See, here's why I'm not okay with Zeke coming back. Zeke's coming back, by the way.
I know he is. We all know
coming back. That'll be a Friday news dump, pay cut, restructure, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Here is why I'm okay with that for one more year. I know it sucks, and it is what it is, but it's one more year because it's either that or they're taking Bijan Robinson if he gets to 26, and we're taking another first-round running back. And he's going to get paid in his third year, and his wheels are going to be done by the fourth year, and we're going to have a $45 million cap hit for a damn running back in the fifth year.
So let me ask you this then. So I already knew Zeke was coming back, so I wasn't tripping. Deep in my heart, I might have argued it. I said it back and forth on the final word. I knew it. I knew it instantly. This is a fact. As soon as D-Law signed his 3-year deal, when he re-signed that deal and did what he did in that 3 years, I said they're going to do the same exact thing with Ezekiel Elliott. They're going to keep him. They're going to make a deal like that for him. So, anyway, now those two are in the fold. Could the Cowboys, since they're always talking about measurables, but would they go after a guy like if Devon Achane is there, that running back from Texas A&M that's about 5'9", 185, 4.3 speed, wheels out of this world? Would they go after a guy like that now? Because now we got our big backs. Would they do that?
Second? They'll take a second. They'll take a running back in the second. They'll take a running back in the first round of the heartbeat, but in the second round, definitely. I mean, now I don't necessarily have an issue with it in the second round as far back as you're picking.
Well, I'm just saying, if they see it like that, if they see a running back that like a Devon Achane, do you think they would definitely do it in the second round? Let's say if they win an offensive tackle or offensive guard.
Here's the way I see the draft falling.
It would not take a small receiver though, right? In the first round,
it's going to be wide receiver or OL or OL wide receiver. That's how I see the first two. Flip them however way you want to stack it. As it stands right now, if I had to hold the gun to my head, I think it's Villa in the first round. If you just from that's a little bit of the inside, but and also with McGovern leaving and the left side of the offensive line being, I don't know. Hopefully they're not still depending on Tyron. You need to put Tyler Smith at left tackle. That's why you drafted him, and that's what I talked about when they drafted him. I got busted on for hating the pick when he played. Well, I never hated the pick. I hated the process. They picked a player, and they didn't know what the hell to do with him.
Well, we know he's the left tackle now.
We know. Do they know?
Yeah.
Because Tyron's coming back.
I don't care. If they don't know that and they try to put Tyron there, that's a travesty.
I tell you right now, as it stands right now, Tyler Smith's your starting left tackle in September.
Tyler or Tyron?
Tyron, 77.
That's terrible.
I agree.
If they do that, because now you just made me think, right? Because I wasn't just thinking, but that's your left tackle. But now that you lost McGovern, now in their heads they're gonna be like, well, let's slide him in the guard now and put Tyron there. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. You should not trust with Tyron. It's a mistake. That's a mistake, and we all know that's a mistake. Tyron's gonna get hurt again. He's not.
And then you're going to be playing musical chairs. You're going to be asking Jason Peters.
Just go.
Jason Peters ain't going to be here, dude. He's going to be gone.
I don't want no Jason Peters, 40-year-old dude.
I know. That's what. It's going to be the same bullshit.
Why did they draft these other guys? So what are these other guys doing then? Matt Lewetzko, Faranock, Josh Ball, are they all getting cut? What are they? Why are they on the team then?
I don't know why Josh Ball even made the damn team.
Okay,
to be honest, he's terrible. He's gone.
More. Okay,
he's gone. The other guys are backups. They're career backups. You got them on day 3 for a reason.
Okay, but what are they, career backup tackles? Can they slide in at guard? What?
Farniak got hurt, so I don't know what the hell they want him to be. I thought he was going to be a center, but then
he could play center. He could play some guard, couldn't
he? In theory, they act like Connor Williams couldn't play center. Then he went to Miami and just played like at an all-pro fucking level all year long. But what do I know? The offensive line, it's frustrating. I'm getting frustrated because the team is still the same way. Like, they got all these obvious holes, and they're going to carry these obvious holes into the damn draft. With the wide receiver, I honestly think they're going to carry wide receiver and the offensive guard, tackle, whatever way you want to spin it. They're going to carry both those blatant holes into the draft unless something changes. And I'd hate that. I hate that if we go into every single draft and we have 3 glaring holes that we need to fix in the first round. When you just had free agency, you just did it with the defensive back. You just went and found your cornerback, your CB2, with a 5th round comp pick.
And you can find a guard still available.
Find a guard. You can find a wide receiver. Go get Mims for a damn 4th rounder. Call it a day. Call him right now and say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry I was a dickhead about the Jamal Adams stuff. Hey, here's a 4th round pick. I'm sorry for cussing you. You know I got an ego, and at the end of the day, it's just football. And here we go.
Well, hey, you said those guys, but I'm gonna still throw out DJ Chark and Parrish Campbell too. I'm gonna still throw
Parrish Campbell's hurt guy, man. He's hurt guy.
But I'm saying, but he's gonna be cheap guy.
Yeah, he's cheap guy when he plays 3 damn games a year.
He played a little bit more games last year. DJ Chark is hurt too, but you take him. But you take him.
He's a big boy though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You get him.
As I'm saying this, I will give you a 4th round pick for any one of those guys right now, no questions asked. And it won't take that to get hell. It won't take that to get
that because those 2 guys are free agents. So
for
all
sure.
you got to do is sign them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Any proven NFL player can get a day 3 pick from me anytime they want it. Versus going into the draft and you pick this guy in 3rd round, you say, oh, we think he's going to be a better Michael Gallup. And guess what? He was inactive till you got bullied so bad. You finally made him active for a game, and he came in and did one of the biggest goof ups I've ever seen a wide receiver do. And then you send him back to the damn field. How you line up off sides like that and then lie about it, man? Come on.
I think maybe since Noah Brown left, they're definitely going to get a receiver. Like I said, the price going to be early. So hopefully you can pray that if they do get a receiver early, he's ready. What kind of guys are you thinking they're looking at?
The only one, the guy with the hyphenated last Jackson, what is it? Jackson Adobe or whatever. Yeah,
Jackson. Jackson.
I'm not gonna butcher that pronunciation. I'm not gonna do it. So him and Mims, but people keep talking about Cowboys like Zay Flowers. Like if they like a 5'7" wide receiver, that's the first I'm hearing about it. These guys are just, I kind of like it because this front office, we know they're size queens, especially Will. He likes long arms. He likes tall. He likes over 6 foot. He likes over 200 pounds. They want you 6 foot, 200 pounds with long arms. And what does that usually get you? A 4.5 guy, a 4.56, 4.54, 4.53. Meanwhile, you go get Denzel Mims, ran the 4.4s. He's 6'3", 207, got long arms. It just makes too much sense. It's hard for me. I keep going back to that because I look at these little guys and I know how they look at little guys, and I have questions about them playing on the outside in the NFL. I just do. We don't see it. The last small guy we saw play consistently and win on the outside was Steve Smith, and that's like a once in freaking 20-year player.
I mean, was Devontae Smith the outside guy?
Devontae Smith, he's 5'9", 5'10".
He little though.
He's small, but he's not short. He's small.
Right. He's still 6 foot.
Yeah, he's still a big, and these guys are legitimately 5'7", 5'8". It's just, I genuinely wonder if that's like the Kyler Murray thing. I never had an issue with short quarterbacks, but then you get to Kyler and it's like, man, this dude is really, really, really short. And I wonder if we finally found, you must be this tall to ride. We finally found the threshold of what breaks where you can actually play in the league. On the outside, at least. And I mean, if you want to draft a slot receiver in the first round, I think it's a bad use of resources. But if he's a bad son of a bitch, then here we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna see. I know they're high on the Jackson. I knew. I got to see him. I'm out here in Ohio, and I get to see all Ohio State, so I knew exactly. Because to me, he was like a CeeDee Lamb clone, but a better route runner. I said that the first time I saw him, and I said, he'd be a good fit with Dallas because if you have both of those type of guys, but his route running is so crisp, and he's got good hands. He doesn't have the long speed. I know he waited to do his because the Ohio State track is a little faster, so his time would probably be a little maybe deceiving. That's why he probably wants to run there.
It ain't faster than that new track they got in Indy. There's a lot of teams calling bullshit on that.
I'm just saying, when the Ohio State track is notoriously fast.
For sure, but Indy installed a new turf 2 years ago? Mm-hmm. And the 40 times have been sus ever since. Them boys are flying.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same deal.
We're gonna see. Like I said. So what's your kind of thoughts with the rest of kind of the free agency as we go forward? Do you think they address anything else? They already hit corner. You don't think they're going to touch the receiver or the offensive line? Do they touch any other position in free agency if you don't think they get a receiver or offensive lineman in free agency?
I don't. It's not that I don't think they're going to get a receiver. I don't have any faith in it actually happening, and I don't know. No, there's nothing. Everything just stalled out. Everything stalled out with the Ramsey thing, but then they go and get Gilmore, so maybe free agency's picking back up, because if you notice, once Ramsey got traded, everything sits for a good 12 hours. There was hardly anything going on, and a lot of this stuff was figured out back in the combine, anyways. Illegal tampering and whatnot. I know they like Cooks. I know they like Hopkins. I want them to go after Mims. There's no inside information.
OBJ is out.
Good. Yeah, good. Jerry loves him. If we want to talk, we want to circle back to that whole disaster, that whole fiasco. Okay, they do not care. They didn't even go to his damn workout. They do not care to see him jog through a field with 100 cameras around, filming his own little reality show, which he's doing. He's filming a little biopic, and he's been running around with them Jenners too much. They only care about the medical. Jerry loves OBJ. He loves the idea of OBJ. He still, gets a hard on thinking about that one-handed catch the same way OBJ was. He made that one-handed catch his entire personality. Cowboys care about the medicals, because when he came down here after balking on the Thanksgiving thing and then came down here and did the little publicity tour that decided he wasn't even going to work out, how do you think that went over with the pro personnel guys and the scouts and the guys who put time and effort into this? The players who went and hung out with you at the Mavs game. You say, oh, in the regular season, why would I even play in the regular season? It don't mean anything. So you're too good for the regular season, bro. And at the same time, at that time he was asking 3 for 60 with 35 guaranteed. That's what the numbers were. That didn't set well, and it still don't set well with me. If he wants to come play, come play. But that's a midsummer signing because have you seen the dude out there cutting, running? Have you seen any information about a past physical? Have you seen any hype about the doctor's progress or anything like that? You haven't. Is he a private guy? Mm-mm. If there was any good news, you think it would be out there? There you go. That's a Jerry thing, and people keep there's still those things where Jerry runs the team. What Jerry say it goes. Jerry may have a good day where his dementia ain't flaring up, and he may do some bullshit, but he still got to find the checkbook. That dude don't run this team. He's a figurehead, kind of like Nolan Ryan was with the Rangers there at the end. So I don't know. If y'all want that dude, by all means. I don't. I just don't. He's on the wrong side of 30. He's got 2 bad knees. He hadn't been rehabbing right, or he'd already passed his physical. It's been almost 15 months now since he tore his knee up. What do you want?
Yeah, I feel you. Shout out to the $2 holler from Deshaun King, says LVE. As we know, just signed a 2-year deal for a very good contract like the Cowboys do. They'll get
two
you
for two for 11, buddy.
Yeah, the 5.5. Yeah, they were talking like the barometer was gonna be 7. They hit them at 5.5. So they good. Well, they good how they do it. I definitely
company man.
That's a company man right there. He definitely loves the Cowboys, and the Cowboys love him. He's one of them guys that he is a good old boy. They like him. They like LVE. He's a good old boy.
That's company man. I mean, that was a foregone conclusion. I've been talking about that, for the last. That was money in the bank. So, hey, shout out to him though. The dude could have medically retired. He don't need the money. He comes from money. The dude don't need to play football.
Right. Well, like I said, I mean, today it was a pretty good day. Stephon Gilmore gets signed out of nowhere. It's a surprise to a lot of people in Cowboys Nation. I'll be talking about it later on tonight. Also, Donovan Wilson, the hammer. He played out of his mind this year. We saw little bits of it a couple years ago when he kind of broke out in 2020, right? And then he had a kind of maybe a little regression in 2021. But that was the emergence of Jaron Kearse. But the way Dan Quinn has really formed those 3, right? So we get excited about the back end before we kind of get ready to get off here. But we get excited about the back end, Mike, because we sit there and say, now
that's where it all starts.
You got your 3 safeties that you are right there, and you got Marquise Bell, who's still, you like him too, right? And then you got Mukamu, who stepped up. Deron Bland, you were wondering. You got Diggs, but then now you solidify it with a veteran corner like Gilmore, and now you look at your secondary and you're like, hey, this could be one of the top secondaries in the league. Not even hyping it because we're Cowboys fans, but when you look at it on paper, how would you not look at it like this is one of the better secondaries in the league based on just looking at it on paper?
It was until we lost Anthony Brown last year. We lost Anthony Brown and everything went to shit.
Does Anthony Brown get re-signed for the low?
I feel terrible for him, dude.
I think
probably
if that knee comes back, I think he resigns, gets maybe cut, and gets re-signed for a cheap deal and comes back for depth.
I know. I just feel terrible for the human like that. I mean, in the contract year, and he was. Yeah, I know that dude catches so much shit, and he's a good corner. He's not your number 1 corner. He's not going to play like your number 1 corner. Quit acting like your number 2 is going to be your number 1. If he was a number 1, he'd be a number 1. He's a number 2 for a reason. He was a damn good corner. Still is, and then he goes up there and gets hurt in a damn sucks.
Well, like I said, maybe he rehabs it. They sign him for the low and get him back on depth. I would definitely like him back for depth. I've been saying a lot of people don't want it. I don't care. I want him back for depth because he's a veteran. If you can get him back for depth and you have those starting guys that you have, I feel good about him coming in for depth, playing in the slot because he played better. He played nice in the slot when they were experimenting with Kelvin Joseph on the outside, and they slid him in the slot. He played very well in the slot, I thought. to me. So there's a lot of things to kind of figure out, but feels kind of good right now as we see it. We saw the restructures of Dak Prescott, Zach Martin, Michael Gallup. Do you see any more restructures, Tyron Smith?
Man, they should just sign Dak to a new deal and drop that cap hit about $15 million this year. That's what they should do.
They've been talking about it. Do you think it actually happens?
Maybe if he wants to sign.
Do you think he really wants to sign?
Balls in his court. Now he's got them by the balls. He's got the trade clause. He's got the op.
That's what I mean.
He could ride it out.
Are they kind of treading lightly with him?
They pissed him the hell off.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. You pissed off your quarterback. You know, the guy goes out there and drags a subpar offense to the divisional round. You don't get it done because you weren't the best team on the field that day. Yeah, you had a bad day at the office. You had one damn receiver. And like we're talking about, you lose Tony Pollard, your offense tailspins because that's all you got left. And then you go, at the end of the day, this is about wins and losses. You know, and we can't put a team around him when we're paying a quarterback that much money. And, you know, you got to hear that shit. He hears it. The dude ain't deaf. You think you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys and don't hear the constant bullshit? There's no escaping it. Especially when your brother's got rabbit ears. They're not in a good place right now. And, you know, I wouldn't resign here if I was him. Why would you?
And that's what I'm thinking. Like, I don't know if he wants to resign. When I seen that last interview with him when they were talking about would he resign? And he was saying the way he was saying it was like, I want to be a Cowboy for life. I don't hear him saying anything different, but I just didn't feel it like I felt it.
You're never going to catch him slipping in public on a public
that's what
comment.
I mean.
That was you could feel it.
You could feel
it's there. It's there.
Before, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? When I heard him, he was gung-ho Cowboys. Now when I hear him, he's going to give the company line. I hear the company line, but I don't hear it in the spirit. I don't hear it in his spirit. I hear him being like, it's whatever. Like, hey, I can go somewhere else. You know, I can go somewhere else and do something. I feel like that's what it is now with him because
you see a quarterback that ain't on your level go to L.A. and win the damn Super Bowl. You know, you see it. You see Tom Brady go to Tampa. They put a team around him. They go to another Super Bowl. You see Philadelphia's went through 4 quarterbacks and they still find a way to get to the Super Bowl. You see it's possible. You see these worst quarterbacks. Not saying he was better. He was better than Brady the year they went to the Super Bowl. That's just the way it is. And not better than Brady overall in 15-year career, yada, yada, yada. But you see these quarterbacks who are worse than you go to the Super Bowl and win it, or at least go there. And you're down here talking about looking at your roster. These guys play Madden. They play fantasy football. They know the league, man. They know Noah Brown ain't no damn Devontae Adams. They know this, and he's not an idiot. The guy's far from an idiot. He's got 2 damn degrees working on his 3rd. You want to be blamed for the constant ineptitude of 30 years of this franchise, or you want to go somewhere where it's like, dude, we're so glad you're here. We have been going through it. You think Baltimore wouldn't like him right now? Quarterback with 2 working legs that's proven to throw the ball consistently. Arizona, San Francisco, Green Bay, Minnesota, hell, even the New York Giants, and they just paid their quarterback. I'm just saying, Cowboys are fucking up. There's not 10 starting quarterbacks in the league, and you got one of them. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's frustrating. So how do you think he feels when he's the one out there getting his damn brains beat in? Because they're, the patchwork offensive line they carried into the playoffs because they didn't want to do anything about it at the trade deadline. Or they let the defensive tackles go and Ridgeway comes back to town and stomps on your damn head. He sees it. He lives it. He's pissed. I would be too. Out there killing himself for these knuckleheads. And what's going to happen is He plays another year, has another good year, he can hold out. You can't do a damn thing about it, buddy.
And see, that's why he did this deal, and that's why you see it about to manifest. It's like he did that deal for a reason because he didn't trust him. He didn't fool with him. He don't trust him. He didn't trust him. That's why that deal happened. He did not trust him. And when you don't trust him, it's hard to get that trust back. Especially,
he bet on himself, and they came back and burned your monkey ass.
Right. He bet on himself.
And now you're never going to get right again. It's a business relationship from that point on.
Yeah, it's a business relationship. He's not the favorite son. For sure.
He'll never be. He won't be on vacation with them in the Caymans. He ain't on that yacht right now.
Nah, he ain't never
been. Wearing the white linens and smiling in the photo with everybody hugged up, all red face from the scotch.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Shout out to my dog Pee Wee again for the $9.99 Holly. Says if Dallas let Dak walk after his contract, believe me, Jerry Jones will not be the owner anymore because his fans in empty stadium gonna let him know. Now he always gonna be the owner until he
60% of these fans hate Dak.
Yeah,
he's not Romo. The other 60 hate him. The other 40, it's just I've never seen a fan base treat a top 10 starting Cowboy quarterback like absolute dog shit like this franchise does. No other team in the league does it. No other team. No other fan base. Say something about Lamar Jackson on Twitter and see what happens. Baltimore on your ass like white on rice and a paper plate in a snowstorm. Say something about you say something about Kyler Murray. They'll come after you. Hell, San Francisco fans is ready to stab people in the parking lot behind Bonky G, and he's terrible. Nobody else gets treated like this. No, one other quarterback. Romo got the same shit. We're coming from the same franchise that booed Troy Aikman off the field. I was there for that game. Dude out there getting his brains beat in, so concussed he's walking to the wrong sideline, and the fan, boo! The hell's wrong with y'all, man? Man brought you 3 Super Bowls. Out there playing with no offensive line and you booing him. I don't even know why I hang out in this damn place sometimes, man. It's just the way it is, man. It's a business relationship, and I pray. I'm not a religious man, but I kind of pray for the day that Dak walks away from this franchise, and y'all can get you some quarterback purgatory, because a lot of these people need to remember. They need to remember Testaverde, Drew Hutchinson, Quincy Carter, Pennington, Bledsoe. Get you some of that. Get you some of that, and remember what it can really be like when you don't have a starting quarterback. When you got not a top 15 guys, as you like to say. Get you some of that. Get you some of that reality. Get you some of that 3 and 15, 2 and 15, whatever. And then this year, baby, we're gonna get us a quarterback. It's this year. And then we get Quincy Carter. Oh, man, we made the playoffs. Next year, baby, we're going to build a team. Quincy Carter got arrested. Damn. We ain't going to build a team. It's bad, man. And I want to see Dak go to Detroit. Go hang out with them fighting Dan Campbells. Give me some of that. Because that man, Dan Campbell, will put his old big bear arms around Dak Prescott. Love him. What you need? We're going to get it for you. Ain't going to be, at the end of the day, this is about wins and losses. The quarterback didn't get it done. No, we didn't get it done. We didn't build a team. We didn't do it right. Like, you ain't the one holding the checkbook sitting with $25 million of cap space in your pillow, paying $25 million for running backs, and you want to talk about a $35 million quarterback contract. I ain't got time for that, Jack. That dog don't hunt. I'm good.
Nah, you spitting some real facts, dog. I'm gonna keep it real. Like, you spitting some real stuff about Dak, for real. Like,
he's pissed.
And yeah, that's some real stuff, dog. And I mean, it is. I mean, just the fact of just thinking about. I think the biggest thing that you spit was the talent. That if he did go to a team that you had some top flight receivers like some of these guys do, and all the toys, he would go crazy.
Dude got 2 rings sitting on himself in San Francisco. He at least got an NFC Championship ring, and he damn sure got a Super Bowl ring sitting on the shelf that he was in San Francisco. See, there.
Dwayne Brown says a $5 holler. He says put Dak in San Francisco, he'd be on a Super Bowl champion before we'd be in the Super Bowl. He's probably right about that. Yeah.
So yeah, can we go get a wide receiver, please? I know we slow. We're still slow. We getting Hopkins won't fix the speed.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing that my thing is. You say go get a receiver, right? Let's say we get a receiver, but we still got to deal with that. You got Gilmore, but you still got to deal with the ownership issue. Does that creep in from stopping you getting a championship?
Yeah, it always will. They're run truthers. The call's coming from inside the house. I've said this for years and years and years.
So that's what I'm saying. So
they're going to run the ball. Yeah, I mean, we still we still need the receiver. So when Dak finally gets to pass the ball on third down, he has more than one option. Preferably, I would like my quarterback on the one down he's actually allowed to throw the ball. I would like him to have the best options available to him. That's where I'm at with that. Because we're going to run the ball. Mike McCarthy showed up talking about, oh, this is big play production. We're a downfield team. We're downfield production. Well, they whipped his ass into shape real quick, didn't they? We're going to run the football.
He got rid of Kellen, too, though.
Oh, yeah, Kellen was a problem. Man, I tell you what, y'all going to be throwing up in your damn macaroni out there when Justin Herbert's hitting mesh screens for 35, 40 yards after completion, and they make the damn divisional round next year. I tell you that.
I mean, I know they're going to score a lot of points. We're going to see.
That's going
to be something very interesting to see. That dynamic of Kellen Moore over there and then Mike McCarthy here. It's going to be something I'm definitely going to be watching because I said myself that he was going to go over there and they're going to have a top flight offense. They're going to have a very good team. I would like to see what happens with them in the playoffs because then it will answer a lot of things. But the thing will always answer to me when I see, like, if a Kellen Moore leaves, right, and goes somewhere and successful, right, or even if you say that Dak Prescott or other players leaving, they're successful, to me that speaks of the top organization is the issue. Just like I feel like Mike McCarthy, I like him as a coach. I don't feel like he's the issue more than the Joneses are.
Mike McCarthy exists, and Mike McCarthy, the Mustard Tiger, I think the best thing he brings to this team is the other 6 days of the week. I think he lacks an extreme attention to detail on game day, and it's noticeable every single weekend. And he take a timeout with 13 seconds. You got 2 minutes and 13 seconds on the clock. You take a timeout. Play clock, we've got 20 seconds on it. Just go to the 2-minute warning, dude. You had it sitting there. But the way that he treats these soft tissue injuries, the way that he monitors the GPS usage, the way that he won't let guys rush back from injury, and there is a lot that, like I said, the other 6 days of the week is his best attention, is his best asset to this team.
Well, those 6 days count, though.
Yeah, they do. They arguably count more than game day.
Right.
Now,
but that's why I got Schottenheimer to do he's going to be the coordinating, right? Maybe the
I forgot he was here. Oh, the worst. I forgot he was here. Did I pause?
Yeah.
There we go. He's going to call plays, and that's another issue. It's the coach that, like we talk about, routinely gets behind the clock, loses track of the game, all of a sudden wants to be calling plays in a 2-minute drill. You can barely handle the clock as it is. You want to put that on your plate too? He was already messing up fourth downs. All that fourth down aggression disappeared this year too. And he's supposed to be the fourth down guy. Those were his call. I have big reservations about, adding more to the plate of a guy that was already kind of behind the 8 ball on game day. But as I said, those other 6 days, he's fantastic.
Well, like I said, we're going to see. It's really no more excuses, in my opinion. We're about to see. You got what you wanted, and I want to see what's going to happen. So that's a good thing. But as we get to head off here, I want to say a few things. Make sure y'all check in tomorrow. We had a great crowd today. Appreciate everybody in the feed. We love how we did. We kind of did on the fly. Me and Mike, I jumped in his inbox. We made it happen. So
This
make
happened in
sure
like an hour.
we just do it like that. So I can't say when we're going to do the next one. Just stay tuned when we do. But make sure you tune in tomorrow. Do my first show with Jayan. You can download the app from your phone, your tablet, your computer. Download that app. We'll be live at 8 o'clock. We'll be talking all free agency, draft, everything. Make sure you can come right in. You can give live comments. You can be live in the feed. We can see you all in the feed, or we don't have to see you. We can have live interactions. We're going to have games. We're going to have all kind of things. And it's going to be tomorrow at 8 p.m. EST on Big Game James and Giant tomorrow. Make sure you're there. And also, we're going to be doing play-by-play Mavericks versus Lakers on Giant as well on Friday evening. So make sure you start tuning in for that. Me and Giant will be powered starting tomorrow, 8 p.m. EST. Make sure you tune in. Be in the house. Be in the building. We'll talk more Cowboys football. We'll have games. We'll have all kind of good things. You can jump in. You can talk in there. You can ask questions. You can jump in and be live in the show, asking questions, talking, whatever you want to do. Just download that app. It's a free app on your phone, smartphone, computer, laptop, or whatever electronic device you talking. But my dog Mike, a lot of people trying to figure out, like, he don't have the podcast right now because he got so much stuff going on. So
I'm in between things. Trying to start a new. I got a new job in the mix, trying to get that going. And my hours, trying to get some consistent hours right now. So
hey, working man, I'm working man too. I know how it is. So, but you see the right there below, you see the handle right below his name, so you can see him right there. You can check him out. He goes ham on Twitter. He's a funny Twitter follow. You definitely got to go on there and follow him on Twitter because he be saying some crazy stuff on Twitter. So if you want to definitely get a good laugh, make sure you give him a good follow and follow what he does, because you saw some great insight. Great stuff you talked about today. You were on fire. A lot of people were saying it. Give some fire emojis from Mike, because, like I said, like they were saying, you were on fire about what you were saying about Dak, the team in general. A lot of people really need to hear. So if you were in the feed or
it's
you
hard
didn't
to
hear,
do at 280 characters, man. It's hard.
it's all good. If you were not in the feed or you did not get to check out the show, please go listen to the show. Give it a listen on Facebook or YouTube. Great stuff Mike was talking about today, as usual, and we always do. So for myself, Big Game James, and Mike Tripe. Mike,
Right.
my dog. I'll be talking to you soon. All right.
All right. Love you, Bubba. Peace.
All right. Peace. My dog's out. Throw up them fire emojis as I head out of here. Appreciate everybody in the building once again. Like I said, make sure you come back in. We'll be talking more Cowboys football in depth and talk about the Donovan Wilson, what it means, the stats, Stephen Gilmore. We'll be on there, like I said, with live Giant. So if you want to come in there live, if you want to talk in there live in the show live, a lot of people like to call in. You can come right in the feed right while we're doing the live show, give your opinions, ask questions, whatever you want to talk about. Make sure you're in there tomorrow. We're gonna have a good time. We'll be doing games, all kind of things. It'll be myself and Giant. Like I said, you can download the app. It's spelled JJAANN. Download the app. It's a drinking app. You can have drinks, all kind of stuff, do all kind of things. So make sure you check them out. It's a really good thing that they're starting on, and we're going to be having a good time tomorrow. So make sure you check that in tomorrow, 8 p.m. Wednesday. Make sure you do it. So for myself, Big Game James. Oh, and make sure you check it out Friday too, because we're doing our first play-by-play as well with Giant. I think that's going to be a 10:30 start. Mavericks, Lakers. I think there's gonna be some injuries. Kyrie Irving's got a little injury. Luka, LeBron. So hey, we'll see how that goes as far as those guys. But it's still gonna be a great time. Play by play is what I love to do. So make sure you jump in there for that. And we'll be doing play by play next week, next Wednesday. Lakers versus Golden State. Mavs versus Golden State, not Lakers. Mavs versus Golden State next Wednesday. So we're going to have a real good time, and make sure you check out these things and exciting things coming with Big Game James and Giant as well. So we'll talk to you soon. Yeah, it's a later show, babe. I'm sorry, but we'll be talking to you soon. I'll be talking to you, boo, in a second. And I love y'all. Have a great day. Thank you for your time. Big Game James, we out. Oh, final words tonight. So we'll probably be doing it again. So make sure y'all in the feed.